So myself, Dr. Ganpat Prasad, Assistant Professor, Department of Anesthesia, AGPJ Lucknow. I will discuss here only discuss here the physiological changes in the pregnancy. So pregnancy brings about many physiological changes. So these can be divided into three areas. First, anatomical, physiological, and biomechanical. We will here discuss only the physiological changes in the pregnancy. So why there is a physiological in pregnancy? This is maybe due to the enlarged uterus and increased demand of the fetus as well as the mother. So pregnancy produces profound physiological changes that alter the usual response to the anesthesia. So we have faced some challenges because we have to care the two patients simultaneously. So when we fail to take care of one of them, there may be disaster to both of them. First, we will discuss here the cardiovascular changes. So there in the cardiovascular, total blood volume increased by 35%, plasma volume increased by 45%, and the cardiac output increased by 30 to 50%. These increase is due to the increased meet of the demand for the fetus and as well as the mother. And there is the slightly increase in the heart rate, that is 20 to 30%. But there is the reduction in the systemic vascular resistance that is decreased by the 15 to 20%. But CVP remain unchanged in the pregnancy, and the systolic and diastolic blood pressure also decrease. And the systolic blood pressure decreased by 5%, and the diastolic blood pressure decreased by 15%. So more reduction in the diastolic blood pressure. So as the increase in the plasma volume and the excess of the red cell mass, there is the dilutional anemia and the reduced blood viscosity. This is also known as the physiological anemia of the pregnancy. A decrease in the systemic vascular resistance by second trimester decrease both diastolic as well as systolic blood pressure, as discussed in the previous slide. There is also the response to adrenergic agent and vasoconstrictor also blunted. At term, maternal blood volume has increased by 1000 to 1500 ml in the most of the women, which allow them to easily tolerate the blood loss associated with the delivery. So total blood volume reaches 90 ml per kg of the baby body. Average blood loss during the normal vaginal delivery is 400 to 500, and during the uncomplicated cesarean section, 800 to 1000 ml. So blood volume does not return to normal until 1 to 2 weeks after the delivery. Cardiac chamber also enlarged, and myocardial hypertrophy also noted on the echocardiography. Pulmonary artery, CBP, pulmonary artery bed pressure remain unchanged or minor change in the pregnancy. But there is the greatest increase in cardiac output as seen during the labor and immediately after the delivery. And cardiac output does not return to normal until the 2 weeks of the delivery. But CBP increases 4 to 6 centimeter of water due to contraction of the uterus. And due to elevation of the diaphragm, heart moved to left and upward. So apex shifted to lateral. There is some ECG changes in pregnancy. There is increase in the heart rate that is 15%, that sinus tachycardia, and left axis deviation may be seen. And there is the small Q wave and inverted P wave also noted in lead 3 in pregnancy in ECG. There is the increased RS ratio in B5 and B2 in ECG in pregnancy. Heart sound. Apex beat shifted to left intercostal space and 2.5 centimeter lateral to mid-clavicular line. And systolic murmur may be seen over the heard over the apical and pulmonary area. This is due to the decrease in the blood viscosity and torsion of the great vessels. And the memory murmur also heard during the period of pregnancy. It is the continuous hissing murmur seen over the third and fourth intercostal space due to the increased blood flow through the internal memory vessels. Third heart sound also noted this is due to the rapid diastolic filling. And some echocardiographical changes also seen in the pregnancy there, and this is due there may be the slight increase in the end diastolic and systolic blood volume, slight improve in the left ventricular function, slight increase in the ventricular dimension with spherical left ventricular remodeling, a small benign pericardial effusion may be seen, increased tricuspid annular diameter, physiological tricuspid regurgitation may be seen, but there is no change in the septal thickness or ejection fraction. So as the uterus enlarges, so this compresses the IVC and lower aorta when the patient lies in the supine position. Due to there is the obstruction of the IVC and which lead to decrease in the venous return, which lead to decrease in the cardiac output. So when the patient awake, most of the patients are capable of compensating for the decrease in stroke volume by increasing systemic vascular resistance and heart rate. There are also the alternative venous pathway, that is the paravertebral and the azygous system. But during the anesthesia, the compensatory mechanisms are reduced or abolished. So obstruction of the lower aorta causes reduction of the blood flow to kidney, uteroplacental unit, and the lower extremity. Supine hypotension syndrome. This is seen in 8 to 15% of pregnant women due to compression of the IVC or lower aorta. This is associated with the hypotension, sweating, bradycardia, pallor, nausea, and vomiting. So this can be prevented by displacing the uterus by placing the rigid badge under the right hip and by tilting the table left side down 15 to 20 degrees. But during the regional anesthesia, like spinal or epidural anesthesia, there may be profound hypotension. So this can be prevented by lateral tilt of the table. Now respiratory changes in the pregnancy. So as you see that the oxygen consumption is increased by 20 to 50%, airway resistance decreased by 35%, minute volume ventilation increased by 50%, and tidal volume increased by 40%. Respiratory rate, there is the slight increase in the respiratory rate, that is the 15%, and the partial pressure of the oxygen increased by 10%, but there is the reduction in the partial pressure of CO2 by 15%, and concentration of bicarbonate also decreased by 15% to compensate the CO2 level, and FRC also decreased by 20% in pregnancy. So the maternal respiratory changes due to the enlarged uterus. In the third trimester, elevation of the diaphragm is compensated by increase in the AP diameter of the chest. So there is the more thoracic breathing rather than the abdominal breathing. Both vital capacity and closing capacity are minimally affected in pregnancy. FRC decrease up to 20% at term, and FRC return to normal within 48 hours of the delivery. There is the reduction in the expiratory reserve volume also noted. In this slide, you can see that functional residual capacity, residual volume, expiratory reserve volume approximately decreased by 20% in the pregnancy. Vital capacity, inspiratory reserve volume, closing volume, these remain unchanged in the pregnancy. Total lung capacity approximately decreased by 5%. Inspiratory capacity increased by 5%. So anesthetic implications, as the FRC decrease and the increased oxygen consumption. This promote the rapid oxygen desaturation during period of apnea. This is more marked in the obese pregnant female. as the FRC decrease, which causes airway restraint, airway closure 50% in the 50% of the passage at term in supine position, making pre-oxygenation less effective in the pregnancy. So while giving regional block, this further diminishes the FRC, which lead to rapid development of the hypoxemia in the pregnancy. So pre-oxygenation prior to induction of general anesthesia is therefore mandatory to avoid the hypoxemia in pregnant female. There is the capillary engorgement and edema of the upper airway due to down to the pharynx, false vocal cord, glottis, and arytenoid. So increase in chest diameter and enlarged breast can make laryngoscopy more difficult in the pregnant female. So failure to take intubate the trachea is 7 times more common in the term patient, term pregnant female as to non-pregnant female. A smaller diameter endotracheal tube may be required for the intubation, especially in the case of preeclampsia. And blood flow to the nasal mucosa is also increased. So oropharyngeal intubation is more preferred over the nasopharyngeal. Now coagulation changes or hematological changes. Fibrinogen level increased twice, and there is the slight increase in the factor 2 and factor 5, but marked increase in the factor 7 in the pregnancy. There is the increase in the 10 times. Factor 8 also increased 2 times. Factors 9 and 10 also increase, but there is marked reduction in the factor 11, that is the 70%. And factor 12 also increased by 40%, and the factor 13 is decreased by 40%. Bleeding time, PT and APTT remain unchanged in the pregnancy. As you know, pregnancy is the hypercoagulable state, so there is the increased risk for thromboembolic episode. GIT changes. The participants should be considered a full stomach patient during the most of the gestation week, because upward and lateral displacement of the stomach by the uterus promote incompetence of the gastroesophageal inspector and decrease in the gastroesophageal angle. And the reduction of the lower esophageal inspector pressure due to increased progesterone level. Due to these, there is the increased risk of regurgitation and aspiration of gastric content. And there is the increase in the placental gastric secretion, which further worsen the gastric acidity. CNS changes. As you know, minimum alveolar concentration is decreased by 40% due to increase in the level of progesterone and beta endorphin in the pregnancy. Due to combined effect of the increased minute ventilation, decreased FRC, and decreased MAC, there is the rapid induction with inhalational agent in the pregnancy. The amount of local anesthetic drug also less required as compared to the non-pregnant female. Exaggerated lumbar lordosis may be there in the pregnancy, which contribute to cephalad spread of the local anesthetic. Engorged epidural plexus of the vein will decrease the volume of the epidural and subarachnoid spaces. The CSF pressure also increased due to compression from epidural vein in the epidural spaces. Increased sensitivity to opioids, sedative, and local anesthetic when used for neuraxial anesthesia. It is due to the increased level of the progesterone. Renal changes. Renal vasodilation, increased renal blood flow early during the pregnancy. Increased cardiac output lead to increased GFR and increased renal plasma flow by 50%, which increased clearance of the urea, uric acid, and creatinine level. Increased renin and aldosterone level promote sodium and leading to volume overload. Decreased renal tubular threshold for glucose and amino acid may cause the mild glycosuria or proteinuria in the pregnancy. Progesterone mediated uteric smooth muscle relaxation can lead to unistasis, making pregnant women prone to UTI. Hepatic changes. Hepatic function and blood flow remain unchanged in the pregnancy, but there is the mild decrease in the serum albumin due to expanded plasma volume. Thus, a free function of albumin-bound medication is increased. A 25 to 30% decrease in the serum pseudocholinesterase activity also present in the term, but it rarely produces significant prolongation of succinyl choline action. There is the increased cholesterol gallstone formation due to increase in the level of the progesterone. Thank you.